Welcome to your yoga mat. Please try to find a spot in your house where you have room to move around, swing your legs a little bit. If you have blocks, that can be really helpful. And otherwise, just find a comfortable seat, allowing those hips to be nice and heavy, softening the shoulders away from those ears. And if it feels comfortable for you, softening those eyes. And let's just treasure the next 20 minutes or so just to get into the body, get familiar with the body, and just start to notice. Start to become familiar with that breath. Taking a deeper breath into the belly. And a long, slower exhale. Another deep breath in. Long, slow exhale. One more of those. Deep breath in. And a long, slow exhale. Let's take those arms up and overhead. Palms are going to meet. Breath in, exhale, hands come to heart center. Let's bring the right hand by the hip. That left hand can come up and over for a side stretch. Sinking that left hip down. We'll inhale, rise up, second side. Inhale, first side. And second side. Come back to center. Let's inhale. Both arms are going to lift. Exhale. That left hand will find the right knee. The right hand's going to come behind you. Press into the floor to find length. Take an inhale. And then we're going to exhale, gaze behind us. Inhale those arms to center. Exhale, right hand finds the left knee. First sit up nice and tall, and then exhale, gaze behind you. Beautiful. Arms are going to lift up, and let's make our way into hands and knees, finding a nice tabletop position. Shoulders over those wrists, hips over those knees. We're going to do some cat-cow, so drop the belly, pull the mat towards the knees, open up the heart. Exhale, press the world away. Tuck the tailbone. Inhale, drop the belly. This time we're going to tuck the toes. Broad across that chest. And then exhale, untuck toes. Press through the tops of the feet. Press through those shins. Open up that back. Take a few more rounds on your breath. So inhaling, pulling the mat towards the knees. Exhaling, tucking the tailbone. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Coming back to neutral. Let's press back through that right heel. We're just going to take a few stretches, a few maybe pulses here, getting into the Achilles and into the hamstring. If stillness feels good, do that. And notice if you're holding your breath. Good, now we're going to draw that knee all the way in towards the chest. We're going to pull that knee out towards the side like we're a dog at a fire hydrant. We're going to press the sole of the foot towards the ceiling, squeeze the glute, keep that belly tight, and then draw it in. So big circles getting into that hip joint, giving the hip a little bit of WD-40 here. Press through the ceiling, coming in, out, press it up. See if you can sync up the breath. So inhale out. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale out and up. Exhale, pull it in. Now we're going to switch directions. Notice if that glute is getting tired. So pressing the heel up. Knee comes out. Foot comes down. Pressing up, inhale. Out. And down. Inhale up. Out. And down. One more round. Up. Out. And down. Good. Big toes can touch. Take a little child's pose for a moment. Stretch those arms out in front of you. Forehead comes down to the mat. Soften those hips towards the heels. Find length in those ribs. Nice. Let's make our way back to tabletop. Press back through the left heel. So again, if stillness feels good, do that. If pulses feel better, do that. So good for us to take care of our arches of our feet, and that plantar fascia gets so constricted. And also, just wearing shoes all the time, our feet need a little bit of extra love. It's so good for our big toe as well to be bent like this. Beautiful. Now draw that knee all the way up. And then we're going to come out. Knees at a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to internally rotate that hip, press the sole of the foot towards the ceiling. Squeeze the belly, squeeze the glute, draw it into the chest. 4 more rounds. Inhale. Exhale to the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Notice if you're getting tired, keep the belly engaged. 2 more. Last round. Good. Now we're reversing direction. So kicking up first. Imagine you're stomping a hole through that ceiling. Out to the side. Coming into the chest. 4 more rounds. Sync up the breath. So by connecting the breath with our movement, it helps ground us. Helps tame that monkey mind where the thoughts want to wander, and just keeps us connected to our body. We might be more likely to notice things. Imbalances, stiffness, things that are starting to become problematic, things we might want to fix, things that feel good. Last round. Beautiful. Now, we're going to bring that right foot out, perpendicular to the hip. We're going to walk our hands in between the knee and that foot. So my right foot, the knife's edge, is glued to the floor. We can tuck our back toes if we want for stability, and see if you can just ease those hips back, maybe stretching out those hands. Find your breath. Get into that inner thigh. And we'll lift hips up. Walk those hands back under the shoulders. We're going to inhale that arm out, and then exhale, thread the needle so the left ear finds the mat, and we gaze towards that right foot. Seeing if we can soften that head all the way down to the mat. We're getting a nice thoracic twist here. Remember to breathe. See if you can gaze up a little more. Beautiful. Pressing into that right hand. We'll find a tabletop. We'll see if we can bring that left foot out. Toes face forward. We're going to walk hands in between the knee and the foot and just ease those hips back. Breathing into that thigh. And I'm just gazing at my thumbs here. I'm keeping my neck nice and long. And we'll walk. Hands under shoulders. This time right arm is going to thread underneath and right ear is going to come to the mat. And we're just going to soften that head onto the floor, maybe rolling onto the back of the skull here. And we'll press through that hand, make our way back to tabletop. So nice. This time, let's move our hands one hand's distance in front. We're going to tuck our toes, drive those hips up and back, making your way into a down dog. So with down dog, we want to melt the heart towards the thighs, and we want to think about the energy from the wrists coming up through those hips. Doesn't matter so much if the knees are straight. Let's keep them bent and just really allow for a straight line between wrists and hips, broadening those sits bones. And then maybe we can drop one heel and then another one and walk out our dog just a little bit. Good. Now we're going to shift all the way forward to our plank pose. Shoulders are over those wrists, belly is tight, and we're just going to lower down to the mat as slowly as we can with control. Untuck our toes as we arrive. Hands are right by the chest, elbows are tight. We're going to drag each foot towards the end of the mat and drive that tailbone towards the heels, finding a little length in that low back. And now we're just going to think about lifting that heart forward. Long neck, gentle cobra here. Hugging those elbows. Exhale, forehead comes down. We're going to take 4 more of those. So inhale, thinking length. Exhale, release. Inhale, thinking length. Exhale, release. This time, see if you can float those hands. Make that back body work. Stay for a couple breaths. Exhale, release. And this next round, we're going to tent the fingers just in front of those shoulders. Lift up that torso, squeeze the glutes. And then we're going to exhale, dip the left shoulder, gaze over the right one. Inhale to midline. Dip that right shoulder, gaze over the left one. Inhale to center, 1 more each side. Dipping left shoulder. Inhale to center. Dipping left shoulder. Inhale to center. Good. Hands come back by the chest. We're going to press up through tabletop. Now we're going to lift those hips up and back and find a nice down dog. Here we are again. We're going to walk those hands back, see if we can make them all the way to the feet, and find a nice forward fold here. So maybe fingertips are swaying from side to side. Release that chin, release that neck. Maybe grab elbows if that feels good, but I'm thinking about soft knees because I'm still getting into my body here. Releasing that low back. Swaying from side to side to get into all the hamstrings. And now we're going to roll up slowly. Shoulders coming up last. Beautiful. Inhale those arms up. We're going to exhale. We're going to come right back down to that fold. We're going to take a halfway lift. Hands can be on the shins or the thighs, but we want to broaden across that heart. Draw those shoulder blades back towards the hips. And then exhale, release. Inhale, rise up, palms beat overhead, swan dive forward, all the way back down. Inhale, halfway lift, long back. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise up. One last time, forward fold. And we're gonna walk our way back out to our down dog. Good. And this time in our down dog, we're going to lift that right leg up and just hold it. Let that left heel sink, leading with that inner right thigh. Right ankle's flexed. Find your breath. So you can lift that right heel a little higher. Big breath in here. We're going to exhale, draw the knee to the nose, bring the shoulders over the wrist, and see if we can find a place right by that right thumb. for that foot. Soften that left knee down, good. Plant the left hand. This is where we could use blocks if that would feel good under our hands. Or we could just peel that right arm open. And then we're going to thread the needle 5 times. So we're going to take a breath in here. And we're going to exhale. Right hand comes in between the left hand and the left knee. And we're dropping that right shoulder down, gazing behind us. Inhale. 4 more of those. Exhale, dip. Inhale, peel it open. Exhale, dip. Inhale, peel it open. 2 more. Exhaling. Inhaling. Good. Last one. Exhale. Inhale. Beautiful. Now we're going to make big circles with that hand, reaching forward, getting shoulder blade off the ribs, all the way back and around. Forward, back and around. Forward, back and around. 1 more. Forward, back and around. Good. Now this time, left hand's going to join the right one. We're going to rise up, lifting both arms. So back toes can be tucked or untucked, whatever feels more stable. Just sink into those hips. See if you can bring those biceps a little closer to the ears. And lift the gaze. And from here, right hand is going to take the left wrist. We're going to pull that left hand towards the ceiling and then exhale, bend over that right knee. Just soften into that left quad, all those hip flexors. Getting a nice stretch here. We're going to inhale, lift. And we're going to exhale, lift those toes. Claw the heel towards you. Hover that heart. Inhale, melt. Exhale, lift the toes. 3 more. Inhale, really melt those hips down, lift the arms. Exhale, palms face down. If this bugs your knee, you can grab a towel, place it under the knee. Last one, inhale. Exhale. Good, and from here, we're going to bring hands to the outer right side of that foot on the floor. And see if we can get into the outer right hip. Maybe those toes fall out towards the right to really get into that IT band. And we'll release, walking everything in. Bring that right knee in. Tuck our toes, press back, downward facing dog. Good. Notice the difference in the hips here. And we're going to shift forward to plank pose. We're going to drop our knees and our chest and then our chin and be in this awkward little 8-limb staff pose. Untuck the toes, pull that heart through. And then exhale, forehead comes down. Press up through tabletop, tucking toes. We're going to press hips up, down dog. And from here, left leg's going to lift on the inhale. And we're going to hold, softening that right heel down. Lift that inner left thigh a little higher. And now we're going to shift our weight forward. We're going to puff up our back, make room for that foot, and place the left foot by the left thumb. Soften that right shin down, maybe untuck toes if that feels good. Right hand can be on the floor or it can be on blocks. We're going to peel open the left arm. Take a breath in here. We're going to exhale, thread the needle. Drop that left shoulder down. 4 more of those. Inhale, open. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, dip that shoulder as low as you can, reaching down. And now we're going to inhale. We're going to reach that arm forward, make some big circles. Biggest circles we can paint here. And on this last round, both arms are going to lift. Inhale. Melt the hips. Lift the heart. Straighten those arms, maybe pinky fingers come towards each other a little bit. Right hand is going to take that left wrist this time, bring it up towards the ceiling and bend over that front knee. Soften the hips towards the mat. Inhale, rise up. And we're going to exhale. Hover the heart. Pull that heel towards you. Lift the toes. Get into that hamstring. Inhale, soften arms, lift. Exhale, lift the toes. Inhale, melt. Exhale, float. 2 more, inhale. Exhale, last one, rise up. And exhale. Taking hands off towards the left. Maybe those toes find that outer left corner of the mat if that feels good. Beautiful. Walking back, hands under the shoulders, drop that left knee in. And we're gonna draw those hips up and back, finding a nice down dog. Last down dog practice. And we'll drop shins back down towards the mat. Make our way onto our backs. Let's pull both knees in towards our chest here. Give yourself a little hug. And we're going to take figure 4 pose. So right ankle goes over that left knee. We're going to reach underneath the left thigh. If we can, we'll lift up that foot off the mat. If that's not accessible, we keep that left foot here. Maybe we just gently press out that right knee. But if we can, maybe we reach behind that left hamstring, and we're just going to be here for about 45 seconds. And just find your breath, and then just notice as you open up, see if you can bring that quad closer in. About 5 more breaths here. Beautiful. We're going to soften that left foot down. Our arms are going to come out to make a goalpost shape. And in this figure 4 shape, we're just going to drop the sole of that right foot towards the floor. Nice deep twist here. Maybe the left hand can come down and find that ankle. Notice how my knee is lifted here. Coming back to that breath. There's a tendency for folks to want to crunch the top of the knee, but the real stretch is when we pull that ankle in and we feel that deep stretch in that outer hip. We're going to rock back up to center. Keep the figure 4 shape. And now just drop those knees over towards the right. Reach that left arm up and overhead. Maybe we even cradle that head in the hand. Now, to get this stretch, we squeeze the left glute and press that left knee towards the floor. So you will feel the front of that hip, the left quad, the left ribs all open up. The more you kind of lift that hip off the mat and squeeze. The more you squeeze the glute, the more you feel. We'll drop everything back in, uncross the legs, pull those knees in towards the chest. I like to lift my hips just a ½ an inch just to realign that spine. Drop the right foot down, thread the needle second side, grabbing that hamstring. I like active ankles here. And just be aware as you open up. Can you maybe pull the thigh a little closer? Notice where the mind's gone. Maybe you can bring it back into your body. And what do you notice? Maybe this hip is a little tighter. Maybe it's a little more accessible. We'll soften that right foot back down to the mat. Keep the figure four shape. Find goalpost arms. Let's drop that left knee all the way down, or that left foot all the way down to the floor. We can reach down and grab that ankle. And if this twist is just too much, just uncross the legs, just take a traditional twist, remembering this is your practice. And again, making your way back up to center. We'll drop knees over towards the left. And again, lifting that right hip off the mat, reaching that right arm up and over, maybe cradling that head. Engaging that glute. This really gets at all the deep frontal hip connector muscles. I get so locked up from all the sports we do, and especially from sitting. Beautiful, rocking into center. Let's bring both knees in towards the chest. We're going to draw the soles of the feet together. We're going to reach and grab those big toes with our index fingers. Press the tailbone into the mat, the back of the head into the mat, and just unfurl those feet for a little happy baby. So in happy baby, we work to get the shins more perpendicular to the floor. We try to get those quads a little closer to the outer ribs, closer to the floor. Ankles are flexed. If we need to, we can grab a hold of the hamstrings. Release the feet, give yourself one last hug. And then we're going to exhale, extend everything out, taking just a few moments in our Shavasana. So palms can face up, toes can gently fall to the outer corners of the mat. We can soften the jaw, soften the eyes. And just surrender here. If you're still holding on to anything, just let it go. Notice how the body feels and just allow the body to absorb the yoga. If you have more time to spend in Shavasana, I invite you to pause this video and do it. Otherwise, we're going to draw those feet to touch, bring those arms up and overhead for a morning stretch. Roll onto our side, pulling those knees in towards the chest. And then we'll mindfully make our way to a comfortable seat. Let those eyes soft. And we'll take one last big breath together. So inhaling those arms up, palms meet. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Hopefully this allowed you to just tune into your body and your breath and to recover from your week. Thanks so much. Namaste.